The goat, the horse, the cow. I actually we actually got two horses, many goats. I think we actually mostly got goats. I skimmed a little bit of meat off of every single animal from the Alien game, and now we can have a meal, everyone. Welcome to Cucina Stellata Starred Cuisine. And happy Thanksgiving. I'm gonna say it the entire day until I get tired of it. This is a game about eating. I don't really know why, but this is an up and coming game actually that I marked within the games list as an up and coming horror game. And also, it's a Thanksgiving special where we get to eat. This game apparently got so popular that they're making a Steam release, a full one. So this is the HIO version that was available. They mentioned not to play it if you want to wait for the Steam version, but I figured, you know what? I'll just play both. What's the harm in that? And, well, where else are we going to eat? Why not in Italy? I love Italian food. 19th century. Somewhere in the countryside of Romania, Italy. And again, just to warn people, these are horror games, so I might scream. Oh god, this might be a terrifying game. That's us. That was us in unusual farm operations, dropping down. And now we're gonna cook a delicious meal in 19th century Italy. Yes. Aliens again? It's all aliens all the way down. This is the alien special. Great harm comes to those who let themselves be conquered by wine. What? But little by little they grow nauseated by food and find nourishment almost entirely in drink. Thus they degrade themselves in the eyes of the world, becoming ridiculous, dangerous, and beastly. Pellegrino Artusi. Wait a minute. The Pellegrino? The guy who makes my sparkling water? I also love the idea of letting themselves be conquered by wine. It's a very fascinating phrasing to say that you let yourself fall to the wine. Volume, exit, interact. Churn 90 degrees left, 90 degrees right. It's all aliens and all food. We're about to have our Thanksgiving meal, everyone. Let's add some oil to the pan. I did not know this was a cooking game. Why is the door there? Oh god. Where's the oil? Oh, oil? Pan. Oh wow, it's just like it's like a simpler cooking mama. Or maybe it's a difficult one. Let's see. Chop the onions. Oh, nice. Oh, we're making the I forget the term for it, but similar to the idea of the Holy Trinity in New Orleans or the French mirepoix, but it's the Italian version. Chop the onion, carrot, and celery, add to the pan. Maybe it is called mirepoix, but because I think I swear the French version is also celery and stuff. Okonomiyaki. That's good. That's really good. Chop the meat and add it to the pan. We left the meat on the table just raw like that? That's disgusting. It's ground beef. The mouse cursor looks like something from a 2000s RPG game. The whole game feels like a very old RPG style game. It actually is a really cool way of playing this game. And I really enjoy it too because you're just stuck here. Can I leave with the meat? What if I leave with the meat? Chop the meat, add it to the pan. Wait, chat, I think you're right. I think it is okonomiyaki. But Italian style. It's Italian okonomiyaki. Grab the tomato sauce from the shelf and add it to the pan. Sure. I really enjoy the aesthetics of this game. There's something very interesting about it. It's very cool. And the flow of it, honestly, the flow of it works very well. Homemade tomato sauce. Delicious. Place the tortelli. The tortelli. Where's the tortelli? I'm panicking. There's too much cooking. Okay, tortelli. That was it. Okay, good. I feel like it should be more pixely to be consistent with the rest. Good point. Good point. But maybe maybe it's just for now, right? Maybe because we're in the 19th century. Back then, we had less pixels. Maybe as we go on to the 21st century, right, we'll have more pixels. Right in the notebook. It's too high res. It's ruining my immersion. Yeah? What about this perfectly spaced font? They say that curiosity is a dangerous trap, leading man into abysses from which he can never return. There's the same hypocritical world which claims not to care about food, that makes no civil or religious celebration without eventually spreading the tablecloth and trying to eat as heartily as possible. Therefore, I say, always choose for your raw materials the finest goods, for these will make an impression. And if this precious fruit, of who knows where origin, is as rare as I believe, it must cost as much, or even more, than truffles. Those F's make you feel things. Those are eyes, I'm telling you, chat. Those are eyes. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, you mean these F's, these like curly F's? They do look really nice. Hey, you should make a cursive font, or you should make like an old handwritten script font, because that is nice. And how can we stop going? How can we stop this trend of writing F's under the line? It does look cool. But caution must be exercised, with hope and fervor, for hidden prayers already hold future sorrow. I am repulsed by witnessing, as they say, the desecration of God's grace. Yet indulgence and appetites are too good. Too good. Good feels, good vibes. Just vibing. Oh, what? No. Add the tortelli to the pan. I like how I had time to do that while waiting for the tortelli to be ready. And is this game about eating? Eat? Oh, that's so good. And being transported to a whole new world of flavor. Welcome to Flavor Town, baby. This is Flavor Town. You might not like it, but this is peak flavor. Do you feel the flavor inside you, Chad? Meals like these make me feel like a neophyte in the kitchen and in the art of tasting. Not only the quality, but the sheer delight leaves me astonished and my dreams fulfilled. Its sauce blends with so many dishes, keeping such excellent company that it's worth the effort to satisfy every curiosity and rekindle the fire in the stoves, to get back to work and plunge, like a deep-sea diver, in search of the goodness and beauty I adore. I often say that one should only return to food when the stomach persistently cries out for help, yet I inherited almost unbridled erotic instincts from nature, at times nearly ruining my health and everything else. Moreover, if man neither crave food nor experience sexual stimulation, the human race would soon perish. Oh, I couldn't keep a straight face. It's orgasmic. Everything about this game is so orgasmic. The food we put in our mouth, the nut I unload into your mom. Oh god. And the writing that is there before our very eyes. This game is orgasm multiplied. Oh. So here I am again. Casseroles, pots and lids. Open your legs. Aromas of the undergrowth. Oh god. That's disgusting. The pinker the berry, the sweeter the juice, some might say. Sautés and braids of garlic. For I have returned amongst you. I have arrived. I have come. I have returned amongst you. I have arrived. I have come. Open your legs. Aromas of the undergrowth. The delicious vegetables that come from the earth, the root vegetables, the potatoes, the onions, but also your pussy. Is this game not safe for work? I don't know. I actually have no clue. I have no idea. But this is real. Have you ever eaten a steak so good that it feels like you just came in your pants? Sometimes I make a food. Sometimes I make a dish so beautiful that I wonder how I could have ever lived without eating it. This is life. So now we're making a soup. We put the onion, the carrot, and the celery inside the pot. We add the oil to the pan, same as before. And now we take them out of the boil. No, we take a separate one from the shelf, and then we chop these up. What are we chopping up? I really like the chopping mechanic too. I love the animation for it too. The way it shrinks the entire PNG of it almost. It shrinks the entire model down and it makes it bounce back out. It's a very satisfying animation. It doesn't feel floaty. It has just the right amount of like tenseness to it, tension in it, that it pops out. You know what I mean? Everything about this game is so sexual. And like this whole game really is an erotic experience. What the fuck? The way it bounces, it's like pricky titties. It's so good. This whole game is amazing. Wow. Go to the cellar, grab the cleaver, and cut the meat. What? Cellar, cleaver, cut the meat. What meat? Oh my God. What did I just eat? What did I just eat with my tortellini? I'm gonna be sick. Oh my God, we ate alien meat, chat. Oh God. Just a glowing household zombie. Move on. This is exactly like The Walking Dead when they were eating the zombies, except this time it's the alien. And instead of me reporting the alien or talking to it, I decide to eat the alien. Okay, chat. Oh! Oh my God. Oh my God. Give me your arm. There's not enough meat in your hands. Give me your arm. Oh my God. And I just leave it there as it festers. You mean his arm is free now? It is free. He's as free as he's ever been, I suppose. Oh my God. You are going to make a fine dish, my good friend. A fine dish indeed. Now don't scream, it's going to ruin it's going to ruin the texture of my food. Oh God. Place the meat on the cutting board and dust it with flour. Back in the day, they ate mummies because they thought it was an aphrodisiac. They also made paints out of mummies. Oh yeah! Wait, maybe that's what this is referencing. That's a good point. Yeah. They used to make paints out of them. Yeah, yeah. And then they used to eat them. There's something about this fascination of people with mummies that people had, where they always said that oh yeah, like it's because of the fascination of the practice, right? Because usually the bodies would rot away, but here they actually preserve them. And imagine being one of the people who ate the mummies as an aphrodisiac. This is just me. Maybe this is what the concept is going for. Is it's similar to that, because with the erotic bend of this game, right? The way it's so sexually charged, the way there's romance in the air. Like, I've been rock solid since I started the game. It was actually scary because when I started the game, right, it just popped out, and I was afraid that I would go flying. Feed it to the alien. Oh, I should feed them their own body. Oh, that's fucked up, chat. Are you sure you're not a serial killer, chat? You sure you're not a serial killer? This game such concept would be so disturbing in the VR. Okay, you know what? I was just thinking about this recently. This genre of like somebody going, okay, thing in VR. It's the same thing as like thing in Japan, but now it's thing in VR. But at the same time, I do agree, because you stumbling upon the alien and it trying to reach out to you and grab you, that'd be terrifying. I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't a Cucina Stellata port of the game to VR chat that you could play. You're not gonna incriminate yourself. And another chat that says smile. Pour the broth from the pot into the pan. Oh, what a delicious... Oh, and then now we get tomato sauce inside the pan. Wait, can I see him again? Can I cut his arms open? You mean, yeah, you get what I'm saying. But you know what? It's not a bad thing. It's just funny to me. But I think it would actually work. Like, I genuinely think it'd be amazing. Right? Oh my God, we're about to write again. There's different levels to the amount of sexual satisfaction that you get in this game. Right? You read and your mind feels the eroticism. You eat and your mouth feels the eroticism. Your body does. And then you hear the screams of the alien as you chop into it. And then your heart feels the eroticism. That thrill that you can only get by taking the life away from a living being. Oh, that's a thrill that you'll never get to feel ever again because of laws. You think you've seen it in movies or one of those JCS murderer videos. There was a cannibal guy, the cannibal guy who like cut somebody's leg off, cooked it, fed it to the guy whose leg he cut off, and then he killed him again. And what's crazy is that was within the Hannibal TV show. And what's crazier too is that he was a Canadian. Nuts. In my city, by the way. Nuts. I quiver in anticipation and can barely restrain my restless, twitching finger that ceaselessly torments my beard, as if trying to spread the remnants of a flavor that once passed through it. It is neither sweet, nor bitter, nor sour, nor salty. Perhaps it isn't even a flavor. Not really. It's a sensation. An enchanting shiver that sneaks into the mouth and throat. Something slimy and indefinable that leaves behind a brutal echo, an aftertaste that never fades. There is no way to describe it, for no words exist to define it. It's almost frustrating that Thing VR is an unironically good idea in a lot of cases. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it's such a... It's why I'm sad that Meta sort of took over the entire medium and basically stole, was it... castle walled, I think is the term, something like that, something walled the entire industry behind the meta, because it feels like not many people know about it, and then of the ones that they buy, it's only the Meta Quest, but also because of that, there's no advertising for this stuff, and so it just never really seems to pop off. Walled garden, sorry, yeah, it's the walled garden, and then for some reason Apple went the wrong way. I feel like Apple went the exclusive designer style, but I have friends who work at those places, right? And they tell me the sales of the Apple Vision OS did not go well. So you have this, like, on the one hand, this walled garden, and on the other, this like exclusive society, high society that no one ever wants to pay into, because why would you? It's a waste of money. When all people want is something that's affordable and open, such that you can get content from it anywhere and just play it. Look, it sucks. At least the Meta has at least the price stamp, the price points where you can play things standalone, right? Which is fine. But other than that, it just feels like it hasn't really had the chance to shine yet. Oh, it's great when devs promote their stuff on the VR Reddit. We are releasing our new VR game, Pog, on the Metastore. Drained. Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah, it's just this idea of like, you never get the chance to play those games because it's always in this one specific place on this one locked-in platform, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Oh, Hannibal, good series. Movie is okay too. Wait, there's a Hannibal movie? Oh, the one by the old one, right? Where he goes in, where behind his cell he goes like that, right? Yeah, that one was also good. I actually think that the movie was pretty good, but I think it was better at the time. I think if anything, the Hannibal movie paved the way for other types of movies like it, and so the effect is not nearly as strong. Whereas back then, it must have been insanely good. And when people ask in the comments if there are plans for Steam/PC VR, they're always like, I don't know, it depends on if there's a demand for it. We have no plans at the moment. Like, what? Yeah, that's the weird part. Like, there's never going to be a demand for it because people write those games off as never appearing on PC, right? So it's like, yeah, of course there's no demand because you've basically killed the demand. But also, if you have no plans at the moment, then no one's ever going to expect it. So again, there's still no demand. Like, technically, obviously it's difficult, and I get why it's difficult, and maybe you're using specific features, but maybe it's not that bad because it's like, I swear Unity and stuff just lets you export the project across different platforms, and all you really need to test for is that performance floor, right? And if you're developing for the meta, presumably you would develop for something that could use the hand controllers from Steam VR, so is it really that painful to switch over? I'm not really sure. And that's if it has real finger control, which, I mean, maybe it only has like the full hand grabbing stuff, so yeah, nobody knows about them unless they scroll the VR subreddit. Yeah, that's the other weird part, is like, unless you look at the Metastore, these games aren't found anywhere. And it's like how good is their store if you can't even find a game on it, or if they don't advertise it, especially when compared to other stores? Like, it's weird that the walled gardens always seem to fail compared to Steam in terms of the eyes on it, right? But I feel like Steam as a whole, it's so worth it to spend the money on it, even though it seems like a lot, because naturally you get a lot of eyes on it. Like, people know that a Steam link means that this is a legit thing that you can look at. I mean, sometimes there'll be a case of a virus being spread or it's like a fake game here and there, but for the most part, if there's a Steam link, people are going to associate that with, oh, good, like it's a game that I can actually purchase, that I don't have to work too hard to purchase, because Steam handles all the conversions from different currencies. Steam handles like everything for you, right? And it even advertises for you, because sometimes it just shows up and it says, hey, you might like this game, and it's like, oh shit, I do like this game, and then you buy it. That's how I find some of the games that I play on stream. Sometimes I just log into Steam and Steam's like, hey, you might like this, and I'm like, wait, whatever AI that they have, quote unquote AI that they have, it's better than any other algorithm that I've seen so far. So I'm sort of like, it has to be worth it on some level to go there, because it feels like every other store, these other walled gardens, they're so dead and empty, and they're so difficult to pierce the veil of, that it ultimately ends up being that you never know about things. Like Epic Games Store is so dog shit to walk through. Every single button press takes like a couple years compared to Steam. And it's so strange how everything just feels so sluggish on it. On top of that, the layout is like strange in the sense that it just keeps scrolling on and on and on. But I kind of want to view by category, view by this, view by that. And also the selection of games is not as wide. So it's like, even like smaller random indie games don't show up on the Epic Games Store. So it's like, well, what's the point? You can't even find like a random banger for like $1 and just happen to play it for no reason. Like on Steam, for some reason, Steam has it all. It has everything from the top dogs to the, to the dirt of the earth, right? To the soil of the earth, whatever the phrase is. That's the beauty of the platform. But instead we get the meta store. It sucks. And for VR, which is like a nascent industry that isn't gonna, that is good, that requires more and more people to buy it, and thus more and more people to play it, and thus more and more people to know about it to be able to play it. It's like, well, what happened? However, I'm also guilty of that too. I don't really play VR games that often, though I do want to play Sushi Ben soon. I was actually about to do like a VR horror segment, but then I realized it's a little cumbersome. Like even from a technology perspective, it's still not quite there yet. At least with my setup, and so it's like I already spent $1,000 on it. Do I want to spend more money to make it even better? Not sure. So it's hard. It's just early adoption stuff. Maybe 5 years from now it'll be really good, but I think it's really good now. But I think it can get so much better in terms of ease of use and accessibility and usability. But it all depends on technology. How good the technology can be at being as seamless as you want it to be. Wireless and all this other good stuff. You think that too? Is there really that much work if it's already in Unity in most cases? Anyways, well, there's probably some meta SDK involved. Yeah. So there's I only know for sure the VR side, but the VR standard does have a bunch of extensions for each and every single category of device. Like HTC, I think, has a bunch of them. Meta has their own. So if you use those for your game specifically, then yeah, you wouldn't be able to do like a straightforward port, because some things are only available on those platforms, like the cameras that sense your hands. It's only really available on stuff like the Meta, so the Quest, right? So, but that's why it's an extension, because presumably, at least what I sort of assume Unity would do is I at least when I looked at it very briefly, it seemed to abstract it. Like you don't ever really work directly with the sensor types. You just work with the output of those sensors, and then you work with the abstraction of these are the player's hands, these are the player's fingers, this is the player's viewpoint, right? Versus something like this is the data that comes from the hand sensor on the bottom of the MetaQuest, or this is the data from like the pass-through camera on the Valve Index. It's just this is the view that the player would be seeing if a pass-through camera was present. Stuff like that is pretty interesting. But granted, again, it's always like thing and then thing in development. It's always easier to talk about the thing than to actually make the thing happen. You neither about playing the VR games. Truth be told, you did buy the Under Present since it seemed to be a hidden gem. Not far into it yet though. Yeah, that one's on my wish list because I'm curious about that one. That one actually does seem pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of really cool VR titles. I'm still really excited to play Sushi Ben as soon as October is over. So super excited to play games like the Under Present and stuff, but it's just one of those things where it's going to be a niche for a long time. It's just the way that games are, right? It's just games are niche for a long time, especially in this mode. VR games are going to be niche for a long time until we solve other things. Like, really, I feel like the closest that we come to solving it is like the big screen VR headset, where it just is on the front of your face and it's like very simple and very light to wear, but still works very well. Like, we're starting to get to the point where where the designs of things are getting a lot more comfortable, a lot easier to wear. But still, nothing really solves the space problem. So, In my mind, what we need to do is develop a drug. The best drug known to humanity. It should put you in a state where you're catatonic but also conscious, right? So that state where your body is, it's like sleep paralysis. It should put you into a state of sleep paralysis, and it should read the brain signals from your brain and move you inside the game. But you can't move your body because you're in sleep paralysis. However, and this is the best part. In the same way that you can still have wet dreams, you can still feel everything. So you would still be covered in nut if you played like a VR porn game. That's it. That's the kind of shit that I'm looking for. That's the next step to VR gaming. There are no words that exist to define that experience. Let us eat and enjoy this wonderful dish. You're learning too much. Enter my mind. The sensory overload. The concoction. The chemicals in your brain, the way it makes you feel. Close your eyes, chat. Listen to the music. And feel. It is certainly a flavor, but not one that human taste has ever experienced before, nor could it ever hope to savor. A shadow that does not exist on the world's taste buds and that seems to feed, alternately, and contrary, on something within me. Even every other ingredient appears diseased, contaminated by its proximity, producing twisted fruits with a taste so warped that no one would dare try them. Except those who, unbound by the dogmas and chains imposed by traditional cuisine, claim for themselves a flavor that is not of this world. It is like a painter's discovery of a new color, or a chilling nuance, one that seems as though it had always been available, ignored in a remote corner of a darkened iris, atrophied, unaccustomed to surprise, and unprepared for shock. That is the orgasm in my mouth. Not this again. Ugh. Vomit time. At this point, you don't even care about being niche anymore. If there can be a healthy industry around super bespoke simulations, there can be one for VR. That's a good one. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. Proximity is such a great word. You need a user word. Yeah. You should, instead of saying, I'm going to talk to you later, I'm going to say, hey, let's have a proximity chat. Or something. I don't know. Every day I hear my wife in my proximity and she hears me back. It's like a very convoluted way of saying talking. But yeah, honestly, like it's if it can be healthy, I think it can be healthy. I think it's just one of those things where, but that's the thing, right? Even saying that, like, bespoke simulation stuff implies that there's a very high quality around it, right? And that people are willing to spend money on it. I think aside from Valve, they're the only people who were willing to, I think, do a very risky thing, which is try to make it happen. Like Meta does too, but Meta does it in a way that it's sort of odd. So they're very good on the technology side, and they made some really cool things happen. But then the moment that it became commercially unviable, they said kill the idea, and then they decided to go with, you know, the simpler option, which is like the non-Quest Pro option, right? And I was thinking to myself, like, why didn't they just go all the way? Like, if they're burning billions of dollars, what's another 1 billion to like try a crazy idea and try to pave the way for a very complex market, and maybe even pave the way for an industry that uses all of the complexities of it to its fullest potential? Why even stop at that first step and then go back and say, well, maybe that was too much? It's like you're already $20 billion in. You might as well throw another billion in, and then just, you know, burn your money if you're gonna burn it, if you have the money to like burn it anyways, and make it a reality. What's the point of dreaming if you stop your dream too early because you're worried that you might get lost in it? Yelling at each other from different rooms is what marriage is. True love. So true, though. Marriage is also just texting each other. Like, true love is just texting and you're saying, hey, hi, okay, bye. Sometimes it's just very simple. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be complex. It just has to feel good. Busting makes me feel good. Chop an onion, add it to the pan. Meta tries to mass appeal. No one can beat them at the game. Yeah, exactly. They mass appeal very, very hard. But it's one of those things where it's like, if they just keep mass appealing, then it's like, well, who are they appealing to? If it's everybody, then it's also nobody, right? It's sort of like, what are they making, really? I get sort of the point, though, is like, how can you convince a developer to to make that stuff. But arguably, what they should do is just fund any idea that comes to mind. Like, have the technology, just fund any idea that comes to mind. But they do, so it's like, you don't even know if they even care about VR that much anymore. Didn't they jump on some AI train nowadays? Yeah, they've been on AI for a while now. Yeah, I mean the weird part is that they're still funding Oculus and they're still funding VR. I think it's still like a fun pet project for them, but it's been losing money since forever. And AI is at least the bubble that's making money now. So, at least from what I've heard, there's even AI scientists that are making multiple millions of dollars worth of salary just to work on AI stuff. Whereas like for VR stuff, I don't even think their engineers on that make even close to that much. Obviously, it's still Fang level, but some of the figures that I saw shared was like some AI scientists might get a total compensation package of like upwards of 100 million. And I was like, that's a lot of money to be thrown into it. But that's sort of the way that the industry is, right? But then that's what they're lobbying for too. So that's how it is. Anyways, you have a nice leg over there. Oh, never mind. I'm going for your middle. Sorry. Give me what's inside there. Open up. Yeah, open up. Oh my god, a full liver. Return to the kitchen and close the door. Oh, where is my Fang job? I know, that's the hard part, right? It's like, where is my Fang job too? But that's like sort of the funny part about Fang is that you work at Fang and you make a bunch of money and you would be set for life, right? And that's not a bad thing. I think that's what you should do. But it's like, on the other hand, it's not like my job anywhere else is necessarily worse either. I still get paid a lot and I still get to work on really cool things, right? So, but Fang money would be nice. I'm just worried about how much you have to sell your soul, but it's sort of that question of how much how worth is it to sell your soul for, because 100 million is more than life changing. At this point, it becomes questionable if AI can even break even on all the money dumped into it. Yeah, exactly. At least VR has a chance. I think VR has a much higher chance, and I would argue that VR can already reach that potential, if only because it has the software for it. There's things that you can do in it. I think people just need to get more imaginative with how you can integrate it into daily life, right? Like, I thought pass-through cameras were going to be the shit, where people would stop wearing sunglasses and they would just wear a VR headset, right? Because I'm like, there's so much potential for that to work well. But even if you just use it at home, it's like there's a lot of fun things that you can do with it, but also a lot of really cool productive things too. Like, what if you could have a full virtual workspace? And this is something that I still don't know why isn't there, but with the Meta Quest, right? Why can't you have a full virtual workspace where you organize it in your own way? And you have an empty room, but you organize your virtual workspace in your own way. It's like you don't even need furniture, really. I mean, which would be weird, but because to do everything virtually. But the point is that it can be even more freeing than reality. Sometimes when I look at my desk and I have all these notes strewn across my desk, I sort of go, well, there's not enough space. And then I look at my monitors and like there's not enough space. I kind of wish there was even more dimensions that I could work with, right? But you can't. You have to deal with gravity. In VR, you don't have to deal with shit. You can program it to be whatever you want, right? Turn off gravity, just stick notes everywhere, and you have different ways of doing it. You can even like swap in and out workspaces while sitting in the exact same spot. Now, even something like that hasn't been fully explored yet, and I don't know why. And it just feels like there should be something there for that, but no one's ever done it. And that's just for like productivity, let alone games and then other entertainment. Like, I see movies and stuff, and I wonder why the way that the movies are and why it's been done, how it's been done, has been so simplistic. Watching a flat screen, basically. Hey, is it dead? Cheddar died. Well, that's not my problem. At least the meat will still taste fine after a bit. And I still think that productivity thing, that idea of a fully virtual work environment would be so interesting. Notes displayed as actual objects in the world that pull from files on your PC, images that just load into, right? You could have like your own research desk for each topic on its own. You would still obviously have the traditional windows for browsers and stuff, right? But just that extra extension of your space to make it much more physical, to the point where you would work in that way, to organize it in a physical way as well, I feel like has such a intuitive value to people that I think it'd be hard to pass up. Because the way that I see VR computing especially, I have many thoughts on it, but the biggest thing is that I don't know why it emulates a shitty monitor. I'm like, the monitor is our best attempt at reaching the physicality of the real world. It shouldn't be that now with the tool to replicate the real world, that we now try to replicate the worst parts of it. We should be trying to replicate the best parts of it, the best parts of what we do. And the best parts is when you have a whiteboard and you have a bunch of notes everywhere, and then you have a note on the wall and you have a note on your desk, but it's all in this space, and then you go to some other part of your room and you've got stuff there. Like the spaces, it's the spaces themselves that we haven't really seen explored yet. Only in video games do we see spaces, the concept of spaces explored, and it has this sort of annoying part where you have to walk around virtually in a world that's larger than your own, but something like this could work in a room that's as small as you. Because you could even swap things in and out, but at least you have the ability to use the space directly. It's why I was so excited for pass-through cameras, and then all of a sudden everything's moving away from pass-through, and I'm like, God damn it. It's because no one ever really thought of this. I've actually been meaning to make this at some point. It's one of my many projects to make. Is that idea of like a truly virtual working environment that has you actually using the space to help you organize your stuff too, and actually having like a deep integration with your system in a way that actually makes sense. You know, because it's like sometimes, honestly, even the computer and 3 monitors can feel very limiting in terms of what I can sort of focus on and have available to cross reference with, right? So, do I go for 6 monitors? At what point does it get too much and you have to spend more and more money? Just buy a VR headset at that point, same price. Buy my program for $20. Boom, just place it on your wall in the VR. See it with your own eyes. See it, believe it. Date bio. Right. In the notebook, the alien has passed. Once it was said that pottage was man's fodder, but this one seems more like the fare of angels and devils, ogres and mazapagal, magalassi and marmacul, spirits and essences of myth. I feel my stomach gnashing its teeth, eagerly preparing for a bestial feast. I listen to the ancestral call of hunger and distinguish every word it utters. Now the palate, now the colon, now even the bile itself with its acidic tides, and still the shrieking taste buds singing their clear piercing notes. As the pleasure unfolds, alas, a vortex rises from the depths of my innards, a force so impetuous, a spasmodic outburst that fills me with understanding and compassion for all those wild, primitive beasts ruled by passion and the violence of flesh. Alien a la mode. Chop the meat. Alien a la mode. Oh, delicioso. Grab the bread from the shelf. I've actually been meaning to get more frozen pizza. I actually really crave a pizza. Every time I order pizza now, I always go, this was a waste of money. Versus just getting frozen pizza. It's cheaper and you add your own toppings. And you get it to the perfect doneness. It's a pate bread. Everyone, let's enjoy this delicious meal. Thank you for your sacrifice. Bon appetit. Whatever the French phrase is. I mean, the Italian phrase is. Bene Gorgo or something? I don't know. I'm trying to think of how you would say that. Oh. Close your eyes. And let the flavor take over every neuron in your brain. My word. Certain laws lie hidden within the nature of taste, such that I would have never imagined. I feel every fiber of my body twisting and writhing, seized by a new sensation with every bite, for this flesh does not belong to the earth, nor does this flavor conform to the human order. After a single meager taste, such is its power that all other food loses its usual virtues. Wine turns to water, bread crumbles into ash, and even the air seems laden with an imperceptible scent. Nothing washes away this shadow upon my tongue. as if my very body were learning a new way to perceive the world, a way both wrong and forbidden. And yet, what is most terrifying, in the heart of this damp night, with my throat parched and my stomach emptying so swiftly, is that something inside me still longs for that flavor. Oh, I'm still eating! Holy shit, I'm gonna eat this guy down to the bone. Actually, the alien, what's crazy is the alien has no bone. It's all meat, which implies that aliens are the most efficient food to eat. Because think about this. How much bone exists in a cow, and how much of the bone do we throw away? Basically all of it, unless you're making soup. Very few people truly buy pork and cow bones, because most people don't know how to make a good damn soup, okay? Most people make a shitty soup. So, what do? Well, you then find the alien. The alien that is 99, if not 100% meat. And do you know what you have? That's 100% flavor. I would even prefer that the meat of it has absolutely no other sort of like stuff blocking it, like liquids or water, right? Because then you can buy more of it for less price per pound. It's like jerky, and you can reconstitute it to the constitution that you want. No need to sweat the meat and wait till it dries to dry age it. No, it's already dry. Just age it. That is flavor. Its carcass starting to rot, but I don't care. This is true flavor. Time to eat the best part. The only loss in sensation, the only emptiness I feel in my heart of hearts, is that I no longer get the pleasure of hearing it scream as I chop into its body. That pleasure from its pain, I'll never get it again. Oh my god. You think they died? Sadly. For every scream would have added just another dimension of flavor to the meat. Oh my god. It's the brain. I also love this idea of aliens having brains. Like, I love the idea that every alien has a central spot where all the thinking goes. Like, we can't possibly imagine that there is no such thing as a brainless alien. Almost forgot to close the door. Almost forgot. Brain soup. Oh, what misfortune. What ill-fated news. Oh, wretched swamp, oh foul quagmire. Oh, unholy land that has sheltered me since I was a child. Have you no pity for your own children? You let no food stay wholesome for long, and this one amongst all, so sweet and precious. You can barely stand abundance. The curse upon you. Fie! But they have two brains, and one's located on the feet. See, that's why, right? That's why people are into... I will say this. Think about this. Question yourself, okay? Ask yourself this. Why are people into feet? Why are there foot lovers? They don't do it because they love feet. They're doing it to save us, chat. Because they're going to be the first ones to know whether or not we're dealing with an alien. Without them, we would never know. This is scary to think about, but every foot fetishist is actually an FBI agent trained in how to identify and capture aliens for further study. It just so happens that they're also really into like the sexiness of a foot. Grab an egg, place it in the cellar. Thank you for your sacrifice. May this land have mercy on you, for it had none on me. And now all of your flavors are gone, just like you are. All the flavors. This is what the aliens are doing to us, by the way. They take the people from the farms, they clone them, and then they eat human meat the entire time. My pet theory is that when they kidnap a farmer from a farm, what they do is they clone the human, and then they eat the clone for all of eternity until they feel satisfied. But they do it because they wanted a new flavor of human. Like, oh, Zorglop, the human that we had, I'm getting kind of tired of its flavor. This human, for instance, used to only eat Doritos. How about we get a human that eats more than Doritos? I think that'd be fantastic. Wouldn't it be, Zoizop? Yes, I do agree, Glorglop. I do agree it'd be fantastic. BRB, I have to check something. Zabawibu Bombay. Into the bowl? What? What bowl? What bowl? Oh, that bowl. Oh, I see. Add the flour into the bowl. Oh. Oh, we're making one of these. Are we making noodles? We might be making some homemade noodles, or we're making, I don't know, like a little bun or something? I'm not really sure. What's this? Cut the meat. Oh, we're making like a... Well, what are we making? Also, I can't imagine that... I don't know why, but I don't think I would ever enjoy eating brain. There's just something about it that would make me feel nauseous, wrong. Not only because it coats... Not only because it has the thoughts of the creature, but because the flavor of it, like the creaminess, I don't think I'd be able to get behind that texture. Of the things I would let rot, it'd be mostly the head, and I don't know why. Because it'd be a waste, but... Also, prions. I would be afraid of prions. I cannot but entrust myself to fate. May this change in appearance and these vapors, despite the stench, enhance the flavor, as they do for grappas, say seasoned cheeses and cured meats. For I well know that spoiled foods at times hold unexpected effects. Welcome to the plate. Cured alien brain a la mode. What the hell does a la mode mean? Close your eyes as we enter this journey together. One final flavor explosion. Welcome to Flavor Town. Bam. And the alien ends up... It turns out that the alien only tasted good because this alien in particular was the Guy Fieri of the alien civilization. But every other alien is like the equivalent of the Carpin of South Park, right? This time, the tasting was like a walk through the height of summer. A murky, tangled path through a flowering garden, where the way was painted in color and breathed fragrances like a dream. In that vast and luminous expanse, it seemed as if the entire course of my life flowed before me. The path opened beneath an arch of dentate ivy that made a way down from a gorge through patches of light and shadow, stepping where the branches parted onto pools of golden mucosa. And beneath the trees on my left, indistinct blankets of pharyngeal primroses stretched out like a carpet. The air seemed to lay soft kisses upon my skin. From the deep belly of the wood came the cooing of wild doves, mingled with the warm, gastric gurgling of a welcoming brook. The ground there was so overlain with primroses that avoiding them was impossible, lost as they were in that digestive chain. The sweetness of the air and the green of the fronds, dripping with enzymatic liquors, almost filled me with reverence. Last, I emerged from that garden through an orifice of hedges and brambles, sweaty and disheveled like a man freshly torn from his mother's womb. What the fuck did you just say? Covered in slime and mucosa, covered in my own placenta juices. Thank you, mother. You look rather dashing from down here. Oh, that's disgusting. I'm sorry. That was disgusting. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I added the mother. You look rather dashing down here. I'm so sorry. From down here. I'm so sorry. Oh god. This game is changing me, chat. Go to the cellar, grab the cleaver, cut the meat again? How much more meat can we possibly eat? Let me close that door. Chat, where'd the alien go? Chat, the alien's gone. Why? Right in the notebook. No. That most reverent meat. That flavor that cannot be felt. Again. That flavor now lost to time? Where has it gone? That meat. That deliciousness. In the end, it has left me alone. Yet a new energy surges within me, flowing from top to bottom, carried like a bolus deep into my most hidden bowels. I myself, it seems, am changed. It is the simplest explanation, and yet the wretchedest one. Thus, why shouldn't I have become part of this splendid essence? A link in a metabolic chain that always finds its final arrest in the vilest of excretions. We're going to eat ourselves, because we have become one with the world. Use the bucket in the cellar. What am I going to do in the bucket? How? I thought we were going to eat ourselves. What do you mean use the bucket? What are we going to do with the bucket? Oh, what did I just do? That's shit. Collect the feces. No. No. No, 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 no. Oh, God. Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, God. Oh, oh, God. Oh, my God. Chop the feces. Chat. I'm a meat eater. Shit beater. Meat eater, shit beater. Slice the bread. Oh, like a pate. Like a delicious pate of poop. All the writing in this game, by the way, is fantastic. The ambiance, the state of the world, and just the weirdness of the content, it's so perfect for what you would want from this type of game. Spread the feces on the bread. Plate the dish. Because I have become one with the system. Chat. Let this be our final meal. I can only hope. Because this... Are we even human anymore? Oh, God, that's disgusting. Oh, no. Everyone, don't vomit. Everyone, hold it in. Don't vomit. Look at me. Look at me. Don't worry. Calm down. Take a deep breath. Don't vomit. See those worms? Those worms are the tapeworms climbing up the walls of your intestine. Oh, God, that's disgusting. Oh, the catastrophe. A sharp, biting taste. Filthy as a gutted rag. A faded memory of its once pristine purity. Perhaps too diluted. The spirit of tastiness and delight has shattered along the way. Perhaps its graces and virtues have surrendered to the stomach, and from there to the flesh entirely. Nothing remains for me now but to surrender to one last attempt. Sorry, I couldn't mute in time. Sorry. Hold my hair, please. Sorry, I for a second I forgot that when you vomit with long hair, like you do have to hold your hair, because I have to hold mine too. But every time I hear the phrase "hold my hair," it just sounds way too like it's like tainted sexually for me. So I think of the sexual connotation versus the fact that you're vomiting, because I have long hair too. So when you vomit, you have to hold it up. Bless me, thank you. Go to the cellar, grab the cleaver, cut the meat, and look out the window. It's changed. We are one in the world now, Chad. One in the world. Is that the handshake emoji? We need a hair pull emoji, right? Let's go to 7TV. We need a hair pull emoji. Sorry. Hair pull. No, if you can find me like a hair pulling emoji and make it like slightly sexual, just let me know. Chat. The greatest meat of all, ourselves. For we are one with the system now. We are as alien as that alien was to us from the beginning. Add the meat to the pan. What's wrong with me? Is this what people have in their basements? I don't want to see your cellar. That's terrifying. What does this pot do, by the way? Oh, God. Right in the notebook. I notice, with a certain astonishment, a twitch in my lashes and tears that blur my vision. And yet, by some cruel contradiction, my eyes burn like flames on dry stubble, scorched by their own dryness, like earth cracked by drought, the very drought of the soul which has already drained every last tear before it can fall. Thus it happens that, like who gazes too long upon the high sun, finding no haven in the shadow of night, I feel myself consumed by fire, without a single tear to quench the blaze. The fire, the pain, it surrounds me. And now, this passion, this love, this hope, this dream that I have of flavor, here it comes. Bicep a la mode. It's red now, no longer white but red. A sign of something terrible. The worms are back. The worms have moved from my intestine up to my brain. My feces, I was infected, filled with worms. They're here, going to eat me alive. I feel my vigor leaving me, yet I still breathe in the glory of the tasting. Little time remains, and I must make the most of it, so that my final work may take shape. God, spirit or devil, whoever you are, grant me one last faithful taste. Grant me but a thread of oil over this tepid pottage, my very life. My very life. That in my final hour, I will have achieved perfection. Taste divine. Oh! Oh my god. Oh my god, I see the alien. I see the alien every time I chop. It's here. It's coming closer. It's here. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed the meal. That concludes the meal for Thanksgiving. Hopefully you enjoyed the meal for Thanksgiving, but not the stream. There's always something more after Thanksgiving. This game was amazing. Created for the spaghetti invasion, which, by the way, it's funny. There's actually a bunch of Italian games on itch.io. Basically, every single culture that you can think of is that they have a little niche on itch.io, and the games are not localized, but it's full of amazing stuff. I actually found like a whole bunch of different pages, but there's a lot of Italian games on itch.io that you should actually check out if you know the language. There's a lot of really cool game developers making really cool stuff, and this goes for any culture, right? I mean, even my culture has some games that are in Vietnamese that you'll never be able to understand, but it's still amazing stuff, right? It doesn't matter what language you speak. Beauty and art comes from the heart. And this game has loads of it. What a beautiful premise. What an amazing premise. I can see why they told you not to play the game and wait for the Steam release, because that reveal of the alien, of all things, being the thing that you eat, that's fascinating. Somebody who's so obsessed with the flavor of it, who wants to experiment, and who bemoans the loss of it, who eats so much of it that they become almost corrupted by it in a way, taken over by it. But truly, we were already obsessed with it. We were already, in a way, taken over by the alien because we couldn't stop ourselves from getting more and more of its meat. Lots of blood and fish. There was a lot of blood and fish today, and especially this one. There was a lot of blood and fish. But that's sort of part and parcel of the horror experience. What is also part and parcel is amazing storytelling. And this game, fantastic. The writing in English was amazing. I can't imagine how good the writing was within Italian. The words chosen. There was so much wordplay, alliteration, so many different devices being used here, so much imagery being used, and the weight of every single word was fantastic. It felt in many ways like I was reading the script for a play. Obviously with a much more darker and sort of more comedic bend to it, but definitely on that same quality that you could see it being played on stage. It was fantastic. Every single moment of this game felt like there was so much heart in it, so much beauty in it. I can't even believe how they made a game jam out of this. And yet, you never notice that, right? You never notice the scale of the game is all within one room, because even within this one room, it feels like everything is being done. It feels like everything is possible. That you can cook and eat anything, and you will eat and do everything that you can to get just one more taste of that flavor. Just one more high that hits the same way as it did at the very beginning. until you finally chop your own head off, free of the pain because you simply can't help yourself. You simply want more. Beautiful game. Cucina Stellata. Arguably, I think it's not even worth waiting. I think you should play it now and then also wait for the Steam release and then play that too. Because it's like, if they can do a game jam version this good and now they're going to make money off of it, I can't imagine how much better the full thing is going to be. And again, crazy. Because game jams are what? Could be anywhere from like a week to a month. I tried. It's really hard, right? Especially if you're busy with life, your life gets in the way. So kudos to them. They've made something magical here, and I can't wait to see the full thing. And I really hope that they keep whatever level of writing that they have. It's just such a great level. And maybe even go a little bit further. But too far, like that's the beauty of the writing of this game. Too far, and it would be too serious and too sort of up its own ass. Too goofy, and you would lose the effect it's trying to have. That descent into madness that people who are obsessed with something do. It is that obsession, that passion, right? It is the intersection of those two things that I find so fascinating in this game. And it's an intersection that you don't really see very often, actually, within writing. And you only really see within shows. And strangely enough, most food shows that you see display that very heavily. That idea of passion and obsession, all in one. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Hope you enjoy that Thanksgiving meal, everyone. But with every meal comes the final portion of every Thanksgiving celebration. The day when we get some entertainment in our lives. Also, it's crazy that all assets were created during the game jam except for generic audio effects. And again, just a handful of people, 4 people making this. The writing, Filippo, you son of a gun. That was amazing. From Dogma 9, Filthy Eden. What? Filthy Eden. Dogma IX. Oh no, that's their names. I see. So their names are Filthy Eden, Dogma. Gotcha. It says it's on the Steam, on the itch.io page. Consider supporting them on the Steam page when it comes out too. I don't know if it's out yet, but we'll see.